we go. Let's move that over there. This is the second day with this software. It's pretty much the same as the other one, except this one I had to pay for. Autem. Moreover, he was, there's yam in the past verb there as well, he was already an octogenarian. He was 80 years old. And, okay, here we go. He had been in charge of before many provinces, as we have said. The Roman people, in the dative or ablative, commendatus of his acts. So it was approved of by the Roman people, and thus ita ut, these correlatives, that he seemed dignus for the whole empire. So he seemed like someone who was worthy to now be in charge of the whole Roman Empire after he'd been in charge of several provinces. 2, this is in brackets here, concerning the occisio, this looks like ablative, I know it's actually going with this day, if that's actually there or inserted. So, Gordianus, a nominative, before time, he didn't know anything of this death of this rationale, which would be an agent apparently, a person. But when he discovered the matter, he comparated the matter, so we're in the past now, so then, now, he was a vicinus mortis. He was in the vicinity of death, you might want to say. He was close to death, and he was fearing for his filio, for his son, Magus, looks comparative, so rather a lot. So he preferred to have honest causes in his way of dying than to deadeye, that's active, then to give himself maybe over to the vinculus, the chains, and the carceri is the jail of Maximinius. Okay, so Malbit takes the dative, the infinitive, so it's the infinitive there, because it's a reduplicated perfect if it's going to be that. So he preferred to have an honest cause of death rather than to be given passive infinitive. Okay, so 3. Therefore, with Gordianus appelled or called emperor, the Euvenes, these young men who had been the authors of this deed, this crime maybe, they deecrinated, they casted down the statues of Maximinus, they profregated, they broke the images or busts of him, and they erased his name in the public statues or publicly wherever it was displayed, and they called Gordian himself even Africanum as his addition to his name. So quidam, certain people add that the name of Africanus was to Gordianus id circa. For this reason, indictum was given, non-quod, not because he began to be emperor or to rule in Africa, but quod, because he dragged his origin of his family name from the Scipios, de familia Scipionum. Okay, so he's drawn his name from that. Another autem. Moreover, in plurimus libris, in many books I find also that Gordianus and his son were parita equally called the emperors, and these cognomens, these names, Antoninus, but in others it was Antonus. I think I covered this in the previous chapter. This one has 2 N's, and this one just has the single. 6. Post hoc, after this, Ventum Carthage. Carthage was came to, someone went to Carthage, and with all the regal pomp and the laurel, it's the type of tree or bay leaf, fascibuses, these are the fasces. Okay, so they went there, there's a procession, and his son, legate of his father, by the example of Scipio, as Depetus, the Greek historian, the scriptor, has written, he's the author of this, he was succinctus, he was girt up as the legate of his father with equal potestate, with equal power. 7. The inceps. Next in turn, missa to Rome was a legatio, so another delegation's going to Rome. You don't put ad for Rome unless you're going to the outskirts of Rome, then you'd say ad. Otherwise, to a town or island, etc., you drop the ad. And with the letters of the Gordianes, Haik. These things, which had guaranteed, which had been done in Africa, these letters are indicating, which through Valerianus, the leader of the Senate, who afterwards became emperor, was Graitanto. Looks adverbially accepted this very happily or gratefully, something like that. Okay, as usual, there's a daily dictionary I've just set up. Graitantor, my favourite period, 3rd to 5th centuries. With joy, with rejoicing. Back to the plot. 8. There were misasunt, sent to noble friends, literae, letters, so that homines potens, so that powerful men also would approve of the matter and become more friendly. They would become from friends, so that from friends they would become even more friendly. Chapter X. But such congratulations were made, I'll take that for now, against Maximus. The Senate accepted these people as emperors contra Maximinius. That not only the gestures, not only the deeds that are done, they approved of, but they even chose Viginti Viros, 20 men, amongst whom were Maximinius, or as his name, Pupenius, if that's the same person, and this other guy, Claudius Balbinus, both of whom were emperors, created or made, and afterwards, when the 2 Gordians in Africa were dead, looks like they were both made emperors. Fair enough. 2. Sane. So clearly, the Senate, for this reason, had created these 20, and is the purpose that they should divide these regions, the Italian regions, against Maximinius, safeguarding and looking out for the Gordians, the 2 Gordians. 3. Then delegations from Maximinius venerated to Rome, promising an abolition, amnesty, or getting rid of any charges before of past gone by times, praetorium, the time that's passed by. 4. But the legatio of the Gordians, vincit, he won. Things which he was promising were all good things. So ita ut, correlatives again. So there, they had belief or trust in the Gordians, and so a huge stipendium, huge payments were to be made to the soldiers and to the people. Looks like a typo. Big congeries, masses were promised them and land. Promenti means promise. Nearly done. Another autem. Moreover, to such an extent more creditum est was trust in the Gordians than in Maximus, which usually means throughout or as far as. So there was, as far as there was so much more trust in him, that a certain Vitellius, who praetoriated, who'd been in charge of the soldiers of the Praetoria, through a very bold quaestor and some soldiers, he was killed on the order of the Senate. So this Vitellius was killed because it carried himself, egerated himself before very cruelly, and then it was feared that there would be more monstrosity from him. Imanitus is female. This friend and familiar in the sort of moribus, in the ways of Maximinius. So that explains why he was killed.